Hey, what's going on, fellas? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here. Today we're answering questions for you guys. I want to talk about the recruiting process today, trying to get baseball scholarships in college and also college roster spots. I get tons of questions on this process, and the thing I want to talk about today is figuring out how good you are and where you can play, what level you can play at, getting an evaluation of yourself or an appraisal of your skill set from somebody that knows what they're talking about, has sent players to play college, have coached in college, know how the recruiting process works. It's one of the most important things to do, yet most players don't do it or they do it wrong. So let's talk about that a little bit so you guys understand why it's important and what happens if you don't get the appraisal, the evaluation correctly. Before you do that, check out the description box below. We've got 50% off for you guys at Plate Crate. So your first Plate Crate, we got a deal going with them. You guys will get 50% off if you click the link below. Go to their website, sign up there. Okay, let's talk about recruiting. Here's the thing. When it comes to recruiting and it comes to looking at schools, you have to figure out what level you can play at. Whether it's the D1 level, maybe it's high D1, lower D1, D2, D3, NAIA, JUCO. There's so many different levels. You've got to kind of figure out what level you can play at so you can target those schools, okay? Because for most players, 99% of players, you're not just going to walk on the field, play, and then all these schools are going to just come jumping on you and be like, hey man, we really want to sign you, we want to give you a huge scholarship. Like, that's not going to happen to most players. That's like 1%, 2% of players, maybe less than that, right? And so, but most players think that's what's going to happen. They think like, oh, I'll just go play, and then all of a sudden I'm just going to sit back and everyone's going to come after me and offer me all this stuff. Doesn't happen that way. You have to find out what level you can play at, and then you have to target that level and get in front of those schools, right, so that they can see you. And so the best way to do that is to get somebody that knows the process, has been around the recruiting process, and has sent players on the play or has recruited players. Get them to watch you and give you an idea where you can play, whether it's your high school coach, your summer ball coach, or maybe it's someone that you work with through lessons or whatever. Somebody that'll be honest with you and has a good idea of how to evaluate to help you target those schools. But it's important to get the right person, because a lot of times people are just like, people don't know. A lot of people just don't know. And so they watch and they're like, oh, he's pretty good. Yeah, you can play D1, man. Yeah, definitely, you can play D1. So some people have no clue when they tell you that. Some people just feel bad telling you that you can't. You tell someone like, oh, my dream is to play D1. A lot of people aren't going to be like, sorry, man, I'm going to crush your dreams. You're a D3 guy. Sorry. Like, a lot of guys will be like, yeah, man, I think if you work hard, you can play D1 for sure. And then what happens is that player that they want to play D1 and someone's telling them that they can play D1, or they don't get an evaluation and they just say, well, I'm a D1 player because I'm a pretty good player. They spend all the time looking at the Division I level they're wasting valuable time. Instead of looking at the schools that they should be looking at, schools that they can play at, they waste their time over and over again trying to force a square peg in a round hole and saying, I'm a D1 player, and no one's recruiting you, and you keep saying, I'm a D1 player. And before you know it, the recruiting process is over. You have no school to look at because you were targeting the wrong schools, right? So you waste time, you waste energy, you waste tons of money because you're like, well, D1s aren't recruiting me. Okay, I have to go to every D1 camp then. I have to go to all these camps so I can get on campus so they can see me. And then once they see me, they'll really like me because I just didn't get enough exposure. And then they all see you, and then nobody likes you because you're not at the right fit, right? You have to make sure you're targeting the right fit. And there's nothing wrong with all the other divisions and all the other levels other than D1, okay? If you look at the numbers, less than 2% of high school players play at the D1 level. Like, you have to be a special player to play at the D1 level, okay? It's not for everyone. That's not a knock on anyone. That's just the truth. There's a lot of baseball players in the country, and there's only 300 or so Division I programs. So not everyone can play there, right? The guys that usually go D1, especially the higher level D1s, those are the guys that are the best players in the state, best players in the region. So many players tell me, I'm like, hey man, where you looking? Where you want to play college baseball? And they're like, well, I really want to play at either Vanderbilt or UVA or Florida. I love those 3 schools, and I really want to play at those 3 schools. Okay, that's awesome. Those are the top 5 of the top teams in the country, pretty much. If you're going to play there, you're going to be a superstar. You're going to be a top player the top player probably in your state, and one of the top players in your region, maybe one of the top players in the country, and you're going to know about it really early. Like, you're not going to be finishing your junior year of high school and being like, yeah, man, I really want to play at Vandy, and I haven't talked to them yet or anyone else, but I really want to play there, and I think I can. Like, you're going to know really, really early. All right, so it's important to understand that, and also it's okay to start looking at other levels. It's not about the best fit for you so that you can, wear my Vanderbilt sweatshirt or whoever and walk around town and say, yeah, guys, look at me, I'm committed to Vanderbilt. Or, put a bumper sticker like, yeah, UVA bumper sticker on my car. Everyone, I'm going to drive around town for 6 hours so everyone can see. It's not about what's the best fit in that way. It's what's the right fit. Everyone has a right fit, and that's what you have to find. You're looking for the right fit academically, athletically, socially, all that stuff, okay? And so forget about the number after the D. Everyone gets so obsessed. 1, baby. 1, that's all I want. I want that D1. There's so many. Who cares about the number? Just find the right fit for you. Where are you going to fit best? Where are you going to play? Where are you going to develop? Where are you going to get a good education, right? It's not just a 4-year decision. It's a 40-year decision you're making. Most players aren't going to go on and play Major League Baseball. So for most players, again, you're trying to find a fit that's going to set you up for the rest of your life. And academics is a huge part of that. Okay, so you've got to get the evaluation. That is one of the most important steps and one of the first steps to take to help you narrow down the list. Get a good evaluation with somebody that knows what they're doing, that has sent players on to play college, and that can be honest with you and not going to just, lie to you or not want to tell you the truth because they don't want to upset you, right? And it's really hard. I have to talk to players all the time. And most players that come up to me say, I want to play D1. Like, that's everyone's goal. Fine, that's fine if it's your goal. But then I have to be honest with them and say, listen, I know you want to play D1, and hey, let's give D1 a shot if I think there's a possibility. But you've got to have backup schools, right? You have to have some safety schools. You have to also look at D2 and D3. No matter who you are as a player, if you're making a list, like you want to include a couple D1 schools, right? That's fine. But you should have some backup schools, and you should have a wide range of schools at all levels so that, if it doesn't work out with those schools and you don't have a chance at them, you've got other options. And if you're a player that's a no doubt, no chance, like, there's tons of players. Like I said, less than 2% of guys are going to go play D1. There's a lot of players I watch, and I can tell right away, like, it's not a D1 guy. Like, nothing against the player, not a D1 guy. That guy should know early on, like, don't waste your time with D1s. It's a waste of time and money and energy and effort and all that stuff. Focus in on where you're supposed to go. And like I said, it can be hard sometimes. Even like when I'm talking to players, I try to be super honest. Some guys get bummed out, right? It's like you just crush their dreams. But I always say, like, I have to do this. I'm doing you a favor by eliminating schools that you cannot play at so that you can focus on the ones you can. And now you're ahead of the competition, because while everyone else is running around like a chicken with their head cut off saying, I want to be D1, I want to be D1, right? They're wasting time if they're not really a D1 player. They're wasting time and energy, and you're now targeting the right schools, and you've got the head start on them. And so now you've got a better chance to end up at a school that you really want, one of your top schools. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. There's a ton with the recruiting process. I'm going to start to make more videos because there's a lot of stuff that I see players getting wrong. There's a lot of bad information out there. And so hopefully some of this stuff will really help you guys out and set you on the right track. So let me know if you have any questions. Check out the description box again. Sign up for Play Crate, get 50% off. I've also got a bunch of links to books and videos that I think you guys will enjoy, stuff that we use with all of our players. What else? Check out our Instagram, Antonelli Baseball, our Twitter feed, Matt899, where I'm posting videos all the time for you guys. Check out our website. I might have messed that up. I wasn't paying attention. AntonelliBaseball.com is our website. Twitter feed is Matt899. Instagram is Antonelli Baseball. All that stuff. You know that. You guys watch a ton of these videos before. You know what I say after every single one of them. Again, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you learned something today, and we'll talk to you later.